City. Heyo. We are finishing up tonight our trip. That's right. We're heading home from Clayton, New Mexico. We've been laid over here for about 2 days now, it would appear. So I'm anxious to get home. Remove the engine covers. Come over here to the right wing where the pitot heat is. And we're going to remove that. Fantastic. We actually have a daytime flight lined up. It should be getting dark by the time we arrive at home. Let's go ahead and get the plane prepped and loaded. Alright, first and foremost, boot this bad baby up. Get all the standbys and buses going. On. Alternator, battery, generator. Flip it all on. Turn every single thing on. Except for the external power, which we do not need. We do need the battery. We do need the bus. We do need the standby battery. Hey, that's okay. Flip the lights on. Ignition set to on. Flip it on, and there we go. Hit the starter. Hello, is everything okay? It looks like our engines are starting to spool up. What is up with our... There we go, okay. Little bit slow on the launch, it happens. So, we now have lights. We're not going to turn on our seating yet. We have no passengers. I'm going to go ahead and turn our pulse lights on just while we're down here on the ground. Get those bad boys going, them puppies. Barking. Taxi lights and landing lights. Let's get them just while we're here. And why not all the lights? Let's get it lit on up. It's daytime, so we can't really see much, but the lights are still very important. A small Cessna to our right. We're going to be hooking over to the left, avoiding these fuel trucks. I really wish they weren't just parched in the middle of the runway like that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and begin boarding. We'd like to thank you all for flying Snoot. Go ahead and send them out. What happens? Can we tell them to? Hello, what's going on here? How unfortunate, having some HOTAS issues. Let me disconnect and reconnect. Hello. Alright, sorry about that, friends. Embarrassing. Let's see if a quick restart does anything for us. The HOTAS having some thrustmaster issues here with my flight stick. Hello. There we go. Seems like the problem's fixed. Let's do it again. Covers off. Chocks off. Head back to the pitot heat cover. Good thing we're not too far in the video, right? There we go. That's pitot heat. Stand up. Sprint on over to the other side now. And you just push this little button right here to get on in. Alright, we're going to climb on up again. Let's go through the process. Flick them switches. These two. The generator. We also forgot to get the standby bus going. Ding ding, let's get that going. Battery 1. Battery 2, we do not need external power. This one doesn't want to flip, so we're just going to use the auto start once we get it going. Beacon, nav.
Cabin, altitude.
Oh, do we have our... You can always set our oxygen, I guess. What do you mean cabin altitude? Okay. Well, first off, while we're down here, let's switch this over to the artificial horizon. It would be nice if it just started. Oh man, what is happening? Can't click anything. There we go. Fantastic. Let's go. Reset all the cautions. Get everything going again. Alright, back up top. Turn the engine switch on. Turn the ignition to on. That will let us, of course, you want to flip this bad boy first, the standby battery. It's going to let us click the starter. And we should start seeing our engine spool up here shortly before 3, 2, 1. Alright, excellent. Here goes our avionics. Anti-ice. We're going to turn all of this off for takeoff. Propeller de-ice is off. Airframe de-ice is off. The dump guard, the bleed air, we don't need to worry about that. What is our trim set to? I like it set to 1.0 for takeoff. There we go. Trim 1.0. Flaps. Let's take a quick look at our checklist. I actually tried to take off with 1 degree of flaps last time. We didn't have that much success, and I don't know how long this runway is. We're going to need the long one. Certainly going to need runway 2, depending on. Back to the checklist. Let's go. Pre-flight. We don't care about that. We care about in-flight, before takeoff. Flaps must be set to the takeoff position. What do you mean the takeoff position? What is the takeoff position of the Pilatus PC-12? Hey, it's Dario Gala says, hi there. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's a PS5 chat, so I don't know if chats pop up on the stream. I just go ahead and read them on out. Hope you are having a great day. We're getting booted off. We're about to take off from New Mexico. On our way to Iowa. Flying the Pilatus. So, yeah, let's get back in the cabin. The engines are about, well, as warm as we're going to get them. Maybe sit here for another minute or two. I'm assuming we got the passengers boarded. I know because we're talking to them. With that said, we're going to turn on our seatbelts and our no smoking just for takeoff. No smoking on takeoff, friends. And yeah, with that all said, cut the throttles. It's Dario Gallo asks, am I able to see the comments? Yes, sir, I am. It'd be nice if I could make them appear on the stream. It really would. It seems like I'm just talking here to myself sometimes. But I'm not. I'm not crazy. I do have viewers, and you're one of them. Hey! So, yeah. Most of them just, the comments, they pop up in the corner of my PlayStation screen. But for long comments that I can't read like that, sometimes they go long. A couple sentences. And I just have my phone on hand. I have YouTube pulled up here so I can actually see the comments. Right now I'm actually about to go into the YouTube, send the link on out, and then we'll head right back into it. Alright, yeah. What's done is now done. We're gonna get the ATIS. We need the forecast. So, contact them up. Tune to automated weather on 120625.
Kilo Charlie Alpha Oscar automated weather observation 2200 Zulu. Wind 044 at tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 9er C dew point -1 tree C altimeter tree 029er.
Wind coming out of 044. Let's shut that off. We don't want to listen to them. Wind is coming out of 044, which means we want to take off into 044. They have a runway 2. They have a runway 20. They got a runway 30, I believe. And what is the last one? None of these are that great for 44 wind. Heading 30 is going to be my best bet. Oh, but it is such a short runway. Heading 44. How is runway 2 for us? We're just going to do it. We're just going to go ahead and stick with runway 2 here. Call them on up. Alright, yeah, is everything good to go? Is everyone settled? We are going to announce our taxi to runway 20.
Kilo Charlie Alpha Oscar traffic. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9ers taxiing to runway 2. Kilo Charlie Alpha Oscar.
Alright, there's no tower here at this field. So we're just going to go ahead and get going. Very simple taxi. All we're going to do is turn to our left and taxi right on down the road. So, buckle up everybody. Reel the throttles down. Remove the parking brake, and we are off. The Pilatus PC-12 really, even at no throttle, it gets to taxiing. That thing wants to go, so just be careful here. We're going to be riding the brakes. Man, a close touch, a close encounter with that gas truck. We don't want our wings to get screwed up. Look to the left, look to the right. We're starting to gain some speed. It's okay, as long as we stay on this center line, it should be fine. We're getting a little too fast here, going about 35 knots. You don't want to go above 30 knots if you're taxiing. Even that is pretty fast. Especially for this upcoming turn, you want to be going no more than 5 knots on a turn while taxiing. So, ride those brakes, get it nice and slow here. We are at the hold short point. Oh my gosh, Pick Lag tuned in. Hey, good to see you, Pick. I hope you're having a great evening, my friend. Yeah, always good to see my friends here. So, we're at the hold short point. We're gonna go ahead and get permission. We're looking for, I believe this is gonna be a northern takeoff. Eastern and Eastern takeoff. You know what? We're just going to take off straight out. No reason not to. Let's just do it. Straight out, announce takeoff. Straight out, number 5.
Kilo Charlie Alpha Oscar traffic. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner. Taking off runway 2. Departing straight out. Kilo Charlie Alpha Oscar.
We are now good. Look both ways to be sure nobody is landing. Ride that yellow line, and we're going to need as much of this runway as possible. Get to the center line right here, and final check before takeoff. Flaps. Let's see here. Flaps are set 15 degrees. Trim 1 degree. We should be good for takeoff. I'm hoping we are. Do we need to worry about lights yet? I don't think we do. It's not dark. We have a lot of sun. Just to be sure, we'll reset our warnings here. Alright, co-pilot. We're going to go ahead and begin our takeoff. You guys stay comfortable back there. Our plan tonight is to fly to an altitude of about, give or take, 16,000 feet. And we should be arriving at the Eastern Iowa Airport in Cedar Rapids within the next 2.5 to 3 hours. Snoot Airlines thanks you for your time, and yeah, without much further ado, we will be now departing. Thank you for your time. We will start by spooling the engine up to about 50% while we have our parking brakes on. It's not a jet, it's a turboprop. But we don't want to deal with having to get the engine spooled up. Are we ready? Reset the cam. There go the brakes. Full throttle. Stay in the center line now. Rotation is 165 knots, so we have a lot of speed to build. Stay in the center now. Let's see if we can hit 70, 50. Can we hit 130? We're going a little slow. We're at about 110. Here we go. Liftoff at 130 because I have my flaps correct this time. We actually did not pull up as we should have, but it's okay. We're going to adjust our trim to compensate for it. What is our trim set at? We don't want to go crazy with the trim. I'm trying to go trim crazy. Trimtastic, if you will. Start with reeling the throttles back to the yellow zone. Trim back up in the positive so we have positive rate. We want to keep gaining. We don't want to lose. 3.7 pitch trim. Very high. Climbing above 10 feet per second now. That's a little too high for us. We don't want to climb above 10 feet per second. Give ourselves a little more engines. It sounds like we're bogging down. We're going to adjust our heading slightly to the east now, just to get in line with our VOR lines here. There we are. Heading 050 is about as good as it gets. 047050. Minus 1 point of trim as we slowly climb 7,000 feet. Let's get a flight following now. We're going to go ahead and tune to Albuquerque Center and request a flight following.
Albuquerque Center, Snoop Sierra Alpha Lima 9 Tree 9ers, Type Pilatus PC-12. Squawk 7373. Charlie Alpha Oscar, 7200. Request flight following.
Squawk 7373. Snoop Sierra Alpha Lima 939er. Let's do it.
Squawk 7373. Snoop Sierra Alpha Lima 9 Tree 9er.
And again, tune on in.
Alpha Lima 9 Tree 9er. Radar contact 5 miles northeast of Kilo Charlie Alpha Oscar, 8200. Altimeter tree 029er.
3029er. That's why you never take off without a checklist. Because look at that. We didn't set our altimeter. Tree 029er. First off, let's confirm. We don't want them to get upset with us.
Snoop Sierra Alpha Lima 9 Tree 9er. Please acknowledge.
Please acknowledge. I was trying. Believe me.
Roger. Snoop Sierra Alpha Lima 9 Tree 9er.
What was it? Tree 029er. Yes, sir. Gives us a little bit more throttle now. We're straying from our heading. We're below heading 040. We really need to fix that. Heading 045 to 050. That's our range. Get those wings nice and leveled again. We are continuing to climb. We're going to drop 2 points of trim and see if we can slow our rate of climb. We are now above 10,000 feet, and as such, time to activate the pilot. Oxygen. I'm not sure if it's modeled in the Pilatus PC-12, but we're going to hope it is. Look at that. Right in front of us is the moon. How beautiful is that? Luna. Our moon right there. To our left, we can see fields. It looks like they're irrigated fields. In America, we have these things called irrigators, which are basically big, long metal lines with wheels on them. And you put them out in your field, and they water your field for you. And the tires, they push them around in a great big circle, which creates these circles. You can see them all over here in the Midwest. How cool is that? 055 again. Our heading is lacking. Remove 2 points in trim. Heading is 047, and we are leveled on our wings. Our VOR line looks comfortable, although it is slightly out. About 10, maybe 15 miles, it would appear. We're not worried about terrain. We're not worried about weather. This is what I'd call a joyride. This is a friendly and fascinating cruise. We're gonna go ahead and switch our pulsers off. Gonna turn it to not pulse, but just straight up direct. We also need wing and strobe lights. We're gonna remove our takeoff and taxi lights and focus back ahead of us. We are climbing now 13,000 feet. We can remove 4 or 5 points of trim now. We're not trying to go below, but we are trying to level out. Fantastic. After a short period of ballooning, we are continuing to climb back up. Now, push ever so slightly. Ever so slightly, you push forward on the throttle, or on your stick, just to prevent that balloon from tipping your nose back up. There we are. We let it do what it wants now. We're going to remove 1 more point of trim, and again, as we're going down, you pull back. You want to fight that balloon. No porpoising today. continuing to climb. We remove one more point of trim. We have a lot of trim. That's the issue. We're sitting at trim 3.0, I believe. .7, so that's 27 points of trim to drop. 2.6, 2.5, 2 more points. You don't want to drop trim too fast. You don't want to drop it too slow. Just drop 1 point, give it about 10-20 seconds, see what it does for you. Again, we're going to drop 1 more point of trim. On the distance, we can see what looks to be a cloud front. I'm not too terribly worried. I know there's not much weather out there today.
Cessna, 1 Golf X-ray. Descend and maintain 5600.
We are going to have to deal with some cloudy conditions within the next 500 miles. A Cessna, is there a Cessna in the area? Hello. How cool is that? One thing I love, when you're on the comms, you can actually hear the other planes. I'm pretty sure that's a NPC speaking, not another player. But I do believe it is an actual flight. So somewhere on Albuquerque Center there is a Cessna flying around as we speak, I believe. Alright, we're doing good. 15,000 and climbing. We're going to go ahead and remove just 1 point of trim. We want to level out at 16,000. We have this here, cab altitude. We're going to see if we can just make them go away. No, I believe we cannot. That's okay. It's because the Pilatus PC-12 does not have altitude. We do have our oxygen turned on, so that's all that matters. Climbing now, but oh so slowly. We remove 1 point of trim and slow down even more. How are our engines? They're comfortable. Cabin altitude. Can we change that, huh? Cabin altitude says 4,500 feet. Co-pilot, do you have a better view than I do? Definitely the co-pilot probably will. What's our heading before we start fucking around with all this? Heading is 044, so we're actually doing good for the most part. Switch on over to my partner. What did she see down here? Desired elevation. Well, my desired elevation is at 16,000 feet. How unfortunate. I will give a word to the wise. If you don't know anything about GPS and plane computers like I do, as to say I do not know anything about GPS and plane computers, it's probably wise not to fuck with them in an active flight. Indeed, I'm becoming slowly more familiar with the analog controls and the analog dials, the gyroscopes, the vacuums, altimeter, and all that. But I really do not know nothing about these computers, and as such, I'm not gonna even mess with them. The last thing we want is to fall out of the sky at about 16,000 feet, which we are now sitting at. We're gonna remove 1 point of trim and attempt to find cruise altitude here at 16,000 feet. $15,900. Our heading is 040 and slightly drifting north. So, just level those wings ever so slightly so that we can get back level. Alright, how glorious. What do we got down here? Comms. Home. What I am looking for is the fuel gauge. Oh, we're starting to drift below 040, so wings dip ever so slightly to the right now. Are we even going to give some rudder? Just a little bit of rudder now. Fantastic. That was good enough for me. Flight time has been 13 minutes so far, it would appear. Look at that. Let's focus back out the front window now. Heading 04 tree, still good enough for me. And as the lands below us are swept away behind us, ahead of us is the ever-pressing threat of cloud cover. And not only is there cloud cover, there's another player hidden there in the clouds. I can't exactly make out what their name is. KC_Chiefs. Look at that, there he is. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. And what a fitting name. What a fitting name, as he is likely nearby Kansas. There's not really anything too terribly close except for helipad 17 kilo. Boise City Airport is 17K. Boise City, Oklahoma is what we just passed by. So as we head north, we should be nearing Kansas, I suppose. Having some issues with my charger over here. Hold on a second. Bloop, 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 bloop. I'm sure you can hear that coming through the speakers. Terribly sorry for that one, friends. I was watching somebody on the YouTube. I don't normally give YouTube shout-outs, but I found somebody whose content is just fantastic. The name is, make sure you look this guy up. He's the best. Obama could never. what is this lad's name? He makes sniper elite videos, and yeah, the video I saw of his was specifically created with the intent of being played in the background while his viewers slept. The name of the video was called Fall Asleep While I Hunt Sniper Players, and the uploader is a man named Slorgs, S-L-O-R-G-S. Again, Slorgs. Give him a look. He plays Sniper Elite 5. He has a nice, calming English voice, and he has good quality content. So, yeah, I just seen that, and I wanted to shout him out. Shout out Slorgs if you're watching. Yeah, yep. If you're watching, Slorgs, I hope you're having a good day, man. But yeah, the time was like 4 or 5 a.m. Having insomnia issues. Don't got no smoke. You know, it's always tough to sleep. So I stayed up and watched his videos for like 7 hours, and they kept me raptly at attention. Almost a misnomer saying those videos are meant to sleep to, because they're so, you know, exciting and engaging that I don't want to sleep. But I did feel a kinship with that, because these Snoop videos are at least my night flights, not a day flight like this. I like the idea that people would put them on in the background and sleep to them as well. So we're climbing to 17,000 feet, which is a little too high. We need to remove a point of trim and see if it does anything for us. Let's remove 2 points of trim, because I think that'll be enough to make us descend, which we want to do. Fantastic. There we can see the descension has begun. We're going a little too far north now, so you can see down there, heading 037 right there. We want that to be heading 034. Or at least 039, see, because we can tell, here's our representation of our craft, right here. And we want to be running parallel for the most part. So, 039 is going to eventually intersect us. 040 is likely going to keep us mostly parallel. 040, there we go. Let's see if we can maintain. 16,800 feet and very slowly descending. Below us are those clouds that we saw so long ago. Not that long, actually. Couldn't have been more than maybe 5 or 6 minutes ago. But above us, we still have a clear view of the moon. Of course, my windshield wipers are a little dirty. My windshield's a bit dirty here. Look to the left. Look to the right. How are things going? They're going fantastic. Something flickering. I'm not sure if you can make it out with the terrible fidelity of my stream. Something flickering here, lights in the dust, it would appear. 045, our heading is actually drifting just a bit too far east, so...
Sierra, Alpha Lima 9er, Tree 9er, contact Kansas City Center on 1 tree 4.0.
Contact 1 tree 470.
1 tree 4.0 for Snoot Sierra, Alpha Lima 9er, Tree 9er.
Let's contact 1 tree 4.0. That's Kansas City Center. It's good to get on the horn with Kansas City rather than Albuquerque. We're approaching a point here. Point Kilo Echo Hotel Alpha, it looks like. Oh, look at all this traffic. There is a bunch of traffic in our general vicinity today. Okay, I was actually incorrect. I'm not sure where, I'm not sure exactly what's going on down here. This says Kiha, but this says KLBL. Big difference. Oh, okay. Here is Kiha, and there is KLBL. So, what is airport? Kilo Echo Hotel Alpha. Elkhart Morton County Airport. So, as we cross Point Kiha, we are now in Kansas. We're actually gonna not go direct across it. We have no need to go that far east. We're gonna head back to the north. We have taken quite a big a break from our path, if you will. A detour. We need to get back online. Here we are. It is southern disposition. Should we get back on our VOR lines, or should we just keep going parallel? We definitely probably should get back on the VOR line. There's almost no reason not to. As it stands right now, we'll actually be coming in over Washington, Iowa, when we'd rather be coming in on the north side of Iowa. How embarrassing is that? We forgot our flaps. We've been flying for 13 minutes with flaps. I just noticed our airspeed was incredibly low. Why are we going so slow? I thought to myself. Well, it's because we had our flaps down, my friends. Fortunate that this plane is so incredibly powerful that it actually can maintain nice, level, even flight with flaps. But we're going to go ahead and fix our trim now. Start by adding 5 points of trim and see what it does. Start by removing 2 points of trim and see what it does. We had a good trim setting, but the flaps point your nose up. So by lifting those flaps, even though we're gaining speed, we're going nose down. Which, I mean, by nature of going nose down, you would gain speed, right? 16,300 and falling. And we need to adjust our heading. So, wings to the left, plus 1 point of trim. There was no need to do it. We just got so focused that we are actually right above Point Kiha right now. No reason for that to happen at all. In front of us is some cloud cover. Maybe we could tune in to Kiha's ATIS and see what the weather's looking like. We need to contact Kansas City first off.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, 16,300.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, Kansas City Center, altimeter tree 031, radar contact, continue.
Altimeter tree 031, when they say continue, we don't need to respond, but we do need to fix our barometer. Tree 031, yes sir. And up here too. Tree 031, looking good. We are now back towards a disposition of heading 050, and I'm not incredibly nervous, but there is some thick clouds. It is looking more and more likely that we're about to fly IFR. As a VFR pilot, it is actually my duty not to fly into these clouds, or I would be breaking the law. It looks like we can actually get a little lower to the ground. So let's just adjust. See if we can get below the clouds. It really looks like they're not that high. Or it looks like the cloud cover, I mean, is not that spread. So let's go below the clouds rather than staying in the center of them. Drop 5 point of trims now. 5 entire trims have just been dropped. here we go. You do want to maintain you want to maintain ground contact. You do not want to put the clouds between yourself and the ground. Losing altitude now. We're going to go ahead and descend all the way to 12,000 feet. What is our trim at? .2.0, fantastic, looking good, looking good. Remove one more point of trim to put us at 1.9. We're going to go ahead and adjust our heading. We're starting to get blown to the east again. We're going to turn heading 050 at the most. We're actually going to head closer to heading 045. Oh, 45. And here it comes right in front of us, the cloud cover. Remove one more point of trim. Can we get below it in time? There's the ground. I can still see the ground, but the clouds are really coming in fast. We're going to go ahead and turn our pitot heat on. We're going to go ahead and leave our other de-ice methods off. At heading 045, we are now comfortably set. We're going to reset our cameras. Continue descending below this cloud base, which appears to be at about 10,000 feet. So we're going to go ahead and descend even further now. Remove 2 points of trim. Are we going to make it in time? We might. Again, as long as we maintain ground contact, eye contact with the ground. Here we go. Don't get discombobulated. Focus forward. Look to the left, look to the right. Our wings are nice and level and even. Although our elevator does have us on a downward disposition, we're falling at about 7 to 8 feet per second. Right above us, we are going through these nasty, ugly clouds. We're just going to go ahead and keep descending until we level out. The good thing about Kansas, Nebraska, and Iowa is no mountains, so as long as we're above ground level, which around here is about 1,000 feet, give or take, we should be fine. We're currently about 9,000 feet. Oh, we're starting to see signs of icing. Let's go ahead and trim up 3 points. We're starting to get really turbulent as well, so windshield de-ice, turn it on to light. We don't need an airframe de-icer, but we are going to get the propeller de-ice going. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of throttle to compensate. Focus forward. Add 2 points of trim and see if we can't level out right below this cloud cover. Right here, right below it. We're now climbing, which is a bit much. We don't want to climb. We want to maintain. Maintain. We need to fix our heading again. Heading 055. Much too far east. Let's give ourselves a little more throttle. Our de-icing has worked fantastic. The first signs of ice on my side are gone. Looks like my co-pilot may still be dealing with a little bit over here. I'm sure she's fine too. The wings are good. Canonically, we would not be able to do this, but let's take a look at the airframe. Beautiful shot right there, right behind us. Yet another embarrassing mishap. Look at that. The Pilatus PC-12 has retractable gear. So no wonder we're flying so slow. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remove 10 points of trim immediately. That'll go ahead and lift in those big difference between using the Cessna. We're going to go ahead and gain another 30 to maybe even 40 knots. Although we are starting to climb rapidly, so let's adjust the trim. I have already dropped 15 entire points of trim. We should be sitting at about 0.7 trim. 0.8. Fantastic. 0.8 trim allows us to sit here. We are in the clouds. We need to descend. If we stay at this level, we're going to go ahead and get swamped up in the clouds. In fact, let's tune to a local ATIS. KHOG is going to be our guy. KHQG. Hugaton Municipal. What does the ATIS have to say? Tell me about the cloud cover, please.
Kilo Hotel Quebec Golf automated weather observation. 2300 Zulu. Wind 055 at 16. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Few clouds at 2,100 ceiling, 5,000 overcast. Temperature 8C. Dew point -3C. Altimeter 3031.
Alright. We're going to go ahead and just take this IFR. He said the ceiling was at 5,000 feet, so we could either fly down to 5,000 or we could fly up. To 2,100. Wait, what is happening? 2,100 with the ceiling at 5,000. That's not accurate at all. We are below, or we're above 5,000 feet. We're just gonna ignore this ATIS because it doesn't seem accurate. Back tuned to Kansas City Center. We're gonna go ahead and get back up to 16,000 feet just to avoid. Do we need to? It's an important decision right now. I need to make it, and I need to make it fast. Are we gonna go below the clouds, or are we gonna go up into them? Since the ground is so low here, we're gonna go ahead and drop down. Let's do it. Adjusting our heading back. We need to compensate. No more heading 045. We're talking about 035 to 040. Losing altitude now at a slow and steady pace of about 10 feet per second. Add 2 points of trim. Let's see if we can level out on this heading right here. There's a gap in the clouds just for us. Crafted specifically for our passageway home. We're climbing. We don't want to climb. Remove 1 point of trim now. So there are 2 layers of clouds. There is this up here in the distance. It looks like a big old nimbus. We're going to go ahead and go below this top sheet, but we are going to shoot the gap to the right side of this big old storm head over here. Adjust heading ever so slightly. And we're still losing altitude. It's okay. We're just going to go ahead and continue. We're going a little bit fast, but not too fast. 229, 230 knots. $10,200 feet now. We actually, rather than... Do we want to go to the left or the right of this big bad boy? I'm thinking we just want to go ahead and stick to the right of it. It almost looks like a mountain rising out of the ground. Same thing here. These clouds are so low to the ground, it looks like they're on the ground. But in front of us, we do have that small little gap we're going to attempt to shoot. We are still flying VFR, and I believe we're still abiding by VFR rules. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and stick to what we're doing. Reset the camera. Slow and low. 230 knots. Let's shoot the gap. Continue dropping altitude. 9,900. Gonna go ahead and make sure we have our seatbelt lights on. They were on. We turn them off and back on just to make a point. Snoot City patrons and customers, we may be dealing with some turbulence here shortly. So if you have any beverages, especially a hot beverage, make sure you keep the top covered and fasten your seatbelts. Hopefully this isn't a very bumpy ride. Looking out these clouds to the right, if the cloud cover drops any lower, we're going to need to get back up. As it sits, sitting at 9,700 feet. We still have about 800 feet to drop, so not too worried. Add 1 point of trim. What are we gonna see on the other side of this path is what I'm wondering. Even though we do have a nice little, let's remove 1 point of trim, go a little further, closer to the ground.
Sierra Alpha, Lima, Niner, Tree, Niner contact, Kansas City Center, on 125.2. Good day.
125.2 for Snoot City, Sierra Alpha, Lima, Niner, Tree, Niner, let's do it.
125.2. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner.
Here we go, shooting the gap. Once we shoot the gap, we're going to go ahead and fly to the north. Again, we just continue drifting so far east. It's hard not to. Below us is the ground. We can just barely see it. Above us, look at that. We can actually see some clear skies, and in fact, it's looking like that's going to be our plan. We are immediately going to start ascending. We can see some big old powerful towering cumulonimbus clouds up here. Looks like they are absolutely packed with potential energy. We'd like to get up above these things. So before we tackle them, we're going to go ahead and hug tight to this cloud to our left as we ascend in the matter of a staircase, basically, like a circular staircase wrapped around a single point. We're going to climb around this cloud to our left. We are going to adjust our path and probably shoot one of these two gaps here. Most likely the gap right in front of us. Add 2 points of trim because we need to start gaining altitude here. We're going to go ahead and turn our de-icing off for now. The de-ice has been turned off. Turn the propeller de-ice off. We need to get up there. We need to get some height. of course, dipping down most likely was not the best option. We should have just gone up. But now we know, right? It's a learning battle, and we fight it every day. Knowing is half of that battle. G.I. Joe. Alright, as soon as we hit this point, we're gonna go ahead and curve around the cloud star, right? Look at these fluffy ones coming up. They look like some big old puffy cotton mounds. Looks like the inside of my stuffed plushie toy that my dog got a hold of and chewed the head off of. There we are. Are we gonna skirt it with our wings? Are we gonna touch the cloud with our wings? You could almost reach out and taste it. Just a little bit away. That's okay. We're gonna go ahead and contour to the cloud. Adjust our heading. We're just going right around this bad boy. We still need to gain a little bit more, but you can see our next vector right there. Gap shooting through the clouds. Can we see the ground? Do we still have ground contact? This was the issue, and in fact, it may have been a good idea to drop below cloud cover. Now, there was a reason I didn't want to go above the clouds, and that's because flying VFR, visual flight rules, you're supposed to maintain contact with the ground, eye contact. As such, we are now in violation of the rules. We're gonna adjust our heading here to the north, fly through the gap. Give ourselves a little bit of rudder here. Let's go ahead and do it. Is our heading comfortable on 045? Yes, sir, it is. Remove 1 point of trim, and let's see if we can level out here. This is quite the beautiful view in front of us. It almost looks like we're not in the clouds. It looks like we're above some sort of moss-infested landscape or some snow-covered forest. If we didn't know we were in the clouds, again, this would look like Antarctica or Alaska or something. But it's actually Kansas, believe it or not. And it's really cool seeing the way that weather is modeled in Microsoft Flight Sim. You can see these towering bits. Those are called updrafts, where the kinetic energy is more powerful, and the winds are blowing the clouds upwards. This bit of cloud coverage that we are going through right now does seem to have quite a bit of power. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up dropping some precipitation. I don't know the forecast in Kansas, but if you live in Kansas, watch out for rain over the next couple days, or even snow. So, we're starting to drift again eastward. Let's just take a hard northerly turn. Tilt the wings down. Give ourselves some rudder. Slowly give ourselves some rudder. Here we go. A comfortable line of intersection to take us back to our VOR lines. Remove 1 point of trim. We're now sitting at 15,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and climb again to 16,000, which was our planned cruise altitude. 15,000 and climbing. We're sitting comfortably above the cloud cover. We have been flying now for about 45 minutes. We hope you're comfortable back there. We're going to go ahead and send the beverages and snacks. And by that, I mean I am going to run downstairs and grab me a nice hot cocoa. let's go ahead and get our heading set. Let's get our wings leveled out. Let's go ahead, and we're still slowly climbing. Remove just 1 point of trim. I'm sure we'll still continue to climb. 15,400. Slowly climbing. Leveled wings. There we are. Comfortable. Having a good time. Snoot City, your pilot will be right back. Don't take too long. Haha. Hello friends, I can see our heading has suffered quite a bit, but our elevation and speed has not. How fantastic is that? Slowly returning, I just popped my mug into the microwave. That's right, I'm a savage. I don't use a kettle to heat water. I just microwave that shit. We're going to be enjoying some nice hot cocoa powder mix. Here. Having a bit of issues opening my salami here. Hold on now. Let's level out because our heading looks about healthy. Leveling out, slowly gaining altitude. We would like to hit 16,000 feet. Oh, hello my kitty cat. I have a kitty cat named Simon. He is joining us here today in the cockpit. Simon, you're gonna have to get out of the way, brother. I can hardly see you. Of course, the quick path to getting him out of the way is just opening my window so he can go and sit inside of it, look outside. I don't really let my cat out that much. We go out, I put him on a leash and we go out and hang out sometimes, but he's an inside cat. He stays inside. A Siamese! He's a Siamese. One of the longer furred ones, he's a mix. So he may be a Balinese, but beautiful cat. Good friend of mine, Simon. He didn't used to be incredibly friendly until recently. He's been really warming up to me. And again, I just moved back home, about 2 years ago. So it's taken him time to warm up to me. But we're getting there. Having a great time, me and my buddy Simon. So let's adjust our heading. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that previously aforementioned hot cocoa. We hope the stewardesses are running beverage service like we told them to. 15,800, slowly climbing. We're gonna level out on this heading and see if we drift to the right. Snoot City returning in about 1 minute. Here we are, returning. Only got a little too sidetracked. What's the damage? We've gained about 1,000 feet, and we've lost about 60 degrees in heading. So, remove 1 point of trim. Steeply do a whole turn. We're gonna go ahead and turn. There we go. Put the rudders into it and everything. Flip the wings back to the right. That 10. That 10 is our best friend. I'm starting to get a little too fast, so let's pull back on the speed here.
Speed.
Cut the speed. Tilt the nose up.
Speed.
Speed back. Nose down. Comfortable heading. Alright, there we go. Unpleasant, but perhaps necessary? Indeed. I do need a nice, relaxing, hot drink. Heading is now set comfortably. 040 to 045. Speed, our speed, we are going to go ahead and actually increase our throttles a little bit. 15,000 and gaining, which is what we'd like. We don't want to be sitting at 15,000, but it's not the end of the world. Since we're heading to the east, we need to be sitting at an even number. Our elevation should be even, whereas if you'd be going west, it should be odd. Alright. If anything, we actually might want to dip to the north a little bit. We're going to go ahead and shoot for the left of this upburst here. level it out. Wings comfortably. Okay, the right wing needs to drop ever so slightly. Looks like we are continuing to gain altitude, which is again good. 16,000 is our target cruise level. A good stream. We've been in the air now for about an hour, give or take. And it would appear that the stream would coordinate with that. It looks like we spent about 15 minutes on the ground. Where are we currently? A lot of planes in our immediate vicinity. K94. Let's see, what is K94 Airport? Rush County in La Crosse, Kansas. So we are still over Kansas, unfortunately. But we just gotta keep believing, and eventually we will hit Nebraska or Iowa. As the flight's gone on, we can see our window has gotten noticeably dirtier. What an amazing feature, huh? Filthy window here. Disgusting. Somebody needs to do some maintenance. Reset our view now. A joy flying the giant Pilatus PC-12. It's not too big of an aircraft, much bigger than the Cessnas I'm used to. Powerful with its turboprop, but only one engine, and on top of that, it has this lovely built-in flight computer, so we don't have to keep bringing up the horrendous EFB. 16,500 now means we need to drop 1 point of trim. Heading 029 degrees. 029er. 030. Heading is set. Maintaining. We're gonna go ahead and climb. Looks like ahead of us is some serious cloud cover. And out our front window is somebody flying a Piper. Having a hard time seeing him there. Narwhal Frenzy flying a Piper. How far out are they? They look to be about 100 miles out. That's over here. I don't know if you can pick it up on the stream. 98 nautical miles away, flying the Dakota Piper. Narwhal Frenzy. If you're watching Narwhal Frenzy, have a great flight, my brother. Clouds are catching the sun rays. What a beautiful looking aircraft. So we will focus in. We're starting to drift again eastward. We're not trying to go to the east, good friends. We want to go north. And of course, are we going to follow this valley or the next one? I'm thinking this is going to be our shot right here. It was either follow this valley or shoot this gap and attempt to hook to the left. So we'll just get it out of the way now. By going to the left, we can also avoid these elevated cloud tops. Are we losing terrain? Sitting at 16,000, we are. Add 1 point of trim. Look both ways, just to be sure no one's coming, right? When crossing a cloud path like this, you always look both ways. Heading 025 to 030. Right now we're not as lightning focused on the heading. We are more focused flying VFR. We're gonna go ahead and shoot this gap right here. Hook it to the right, or maybe even hook to the left and then the right. We're gonna contour these clouds. That's right. Our goal is to comfortably skirt this cloud cover without going into IFR instrumental flight. Reset our cams. How do things look? Climbing above 16,000, that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and let it ride all the way up to about 17. Flight level 170. The comfortable hum of the turboprop engine is keeping us company here, as well as my adorable kitty cat and my rapidly cooling mug of hot chocolate. It's a bit too hot to indulge in right now. Fortunately it is, but hot drinks are my favorite. Been a while since we had any communications. Do we need to contact somebody? We do. We need to tune in to Kansas City Center. Tuning. Contacting.
Kansas City Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, 16,900.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, Kansas City Center. Altimeter Tree 054. Radar contact. Continue.
Tree 054. So she said continue. We don't need to respond. We do need to update our barometers. Tree 054. It's a big difference. If anything, it says we need to start dropping. Sitting at 17,300. We're actually going to climb all the way up to 18,000 feet because these clouds are really, they got us pressed. Climbing now, 1,300. I'm not sure if the oxygen is modeled, but we do have the cabin oxygen lever flipped. Hopefully we don't go hypoxic here. We do have a pressurized cabin. Look at these ugly green orange clouds. Sickly. The shadows on the top of the clouds is absolutely beautiful, and you can actually see the color gradient of the sunset here. It goes from blue to rapidly oranging out. See behind us. And it looks like the sun is beginning to slowly set. I've been seeing a lot more sunsets and sunrises, and I noticed one the other day in real life. And they always do, at least for my area. They tend to be that beautiful shade of orange with a little bit of gradient from blue to purple to orange. Lovely. I can understand why people would want to make art, want to capture it in photos, take pictures, paintings, portraits, photography. Quick little sip of the cocoa. Extremely hot. Even just that little tip, a little sip, it did burn. Burnt my tongue. I can feel it now. Nobody loves a burnt tongue. Nobody likes a burnt tongue. Let's go ahead and continue climbing now. We want to hit 18,000 feet before these next cloud tops. If anything, we might need to go all the way up to 20,000 feet. Just doing a quick little test. The air ambulance is a very, very powerful craft. A max altitude of about 30,000. Fantastic. We're not worried. We can make this happen. We can make it happen by continuing to climb at the rate we're going. I have no reason to add trim. No reason to drop trim. no reason to adjust throttle. If anything, we're gonna adjust our heading, and we're actually gonna shoot for this gap right here to the left. Originally, we were gonna shoot it there like a field goal, but no reason not to, right? Look at that. The difference between there and there. That's got to be at least 2,000 feet. So as we sit, we're gonna climb to 8,000 again, 18,000, pardon me, flight level 180, and we're gonna maintain there. The time is, I can't believe I forgot to read the time. The time is now 5:50 p.m. in local time, and it is local time because we've gotten out of the mountains. Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, they're all in mountain time, but Kansas, Nebraska, Texas, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, they're all in United States Central Standard Time, Central Time. So that's what we're in right now. And the difference between Standard Time and Zulu Time is 6 hours. So while the time is basically 6 p.m., that would be 1800 plus 6, 1920 to 1, 2, 3. That's 0. That's 2400 or 000.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er. Did you copy?
2400, so there is a 2400, I believe. Fantastic. Getting back in. Read that again, would you, ATC?
Kansas City Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er. Say again, please.
We were just a little too distracted there.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, contact Kansas City Center on 124.4. Good day.
Alright, contact 124.4. 124.4. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er. Let's do it.
124.4. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
So we've really got some speed going, and if you'll look out the window, this is one of the more beautiful views that we have ever had on our flights, because we don't really fly during the day. Purple clouds with brownish accents, capped off by a background with a beautiful sunset gradient. The foreground is these puffy purple clouds. What are we seeing on the other side? The beauty of this view contrasted with the absolute hideousness of my co-pilot's view is rather funny to me. It's like that meme where it's two kids on a bus and they're driving through a canyon, and one of them's looking really sad because he's looking out his window and all he sees is the wall of the canyon, and the other kid, he's looking really happy because he's looking out his window and he sees the canyon. So that's how I'm feeling right here. What a beautiful view. I won't forget it. It won't last long as the cloud cover is finally falling through. Because of that, we can focus on our heading a little more than our VFR clearance. And we can also bleed off some of this altitude. We don't need to be so high. There's no reason for it. It's nice for fuel efficiency. Oh, what's going on with our lights? Everything okay down there? Anyways, it's good for fuel efficiency, but this plane doesn't have mixture. It's a turboprop. Way off in the distance, there are some real clouds. The cloud coverage we just passed by had no precipitation. It was not that high up. It was passable. But these clouds in the distance, these are looking to be another issue in Tyler, where the clouds we just passed may have been sitting at about 20,000. These ones, without a doubt, will rise above 30,000. That is a storm front off in the distance. I'm actually going to bring up an external radar just to see what we're dealing with. Where are we at? KSLN Airport. Where is that? KSLN Airport is Salina Regional. It's in Salina, Kansas. So, Salina, Kansas. Radar, let's see. What is on the radar? Get rid of the EFB. We don't care about that. Focus forward. We actually... There's Narwhal Fury, our friend we saw earlier, 100 miles out. Well, now he's only 75 miles out. There's a very small chance we may be encountering our good friend, Narwhal Frenzy. Again, wow, look at that. There's that sunset gradient. These clouds, these beautiful lit up clouds. Daytime dusk flights. Beautiful, man. What a sight. You don't get to see this when you fly at night. The trade-off is you get the beauty of all the lights on the ground lit up, but just wow. What I had assumed to be clouds rising the distance... Oh, I'm certain they are clouds, actually. Without a doubt. I was just about to say, the sunset purple gradient is leading me to believe that this is clouds, when in reality I was about to say, well, it might just be the ground, but no, that is obviously cloud coverage. Again, focus our camera, look at our levels. Our heading needs to be adjusted, so we're just going to tilt the wings while I get on the radar. Currently looking at the radar for Salina, Kansas. Well, to the south we have some issues. Let's take a look at the Omaha, Nebraska radar, a little bit further to the north. Yes, the Omaha radar will be more accurate, I'm sure. So, radar's showing no precipitation. So it's looking like it is just cloud coverage. A very powerful cloud right here. You can see it stretching into the horizon. And sunset is coming on. As the sunset comes on, this gradient becomes more powerful, more prevalent. That sunset behind us, the sun must be sinking, and in fact it is. We can no longer see the sun. A beautiful Kansas lake behind us. There he is, Narwhal Frenzy. How you doing, good sir? 70 miles out now. He's sitting at, wow, he's flying at 8,000 feet. He's really pushing it. The Piper Dakota is not pressurized, and as such, it can't really go above about 10,000. $8,000 is the flight level I enjoy a lot in the Piper. It's about as high as I'll take it, especially if you're attempting to fly over the mountains of New Mexico or Colorado, as we unfortunately found out. The Piper is not equipped for Colorado flights. And my goodness, look at that. The beauty just gets more beautiful. I am actually diagnosed as colorblind, but that doesn't mean I can't see colors. And in fact, I myself have never really ever even noticed the color blindness. I do consistently fail on those tests, and my multiple eye doctors have said I am, though. But with that being said, look at that. Not only is there this positive warm gradient, there's actually a cool gradient here, going from blue down to green. That right there is amazing. And it stretches, too. It's far out as we could go. What a lovely sight. Focus back in. It looks like we're drifting eastward, heavily eastward. Is Narwhal Frenzy about to land at KSLN Airport? Well, we're gonna have to find out on a future episode because we need to adjust our heading. Who is this fella? There's another one out there in the distance. Another friend, another enemy perhaps. HROTT 25. He's flying the AT-8T. He's in a sprayer plane. He's only at about 2,000 feet. So, these are some small single-engine craft right here. Again, we need to continue on a northerly heading. A healthy northerly heading. We need to make a big adjustment. Big one. Go ahead and leave our trim. I want to do something with it, but there's no need. We're very slowly gaining, sitting at 15,700 feet. Flight level 150. We're actually falling, so I will indeed give myself one positive point in trim as a snack, as a bit of a treat. Look at that. We are in player paradise. Narwhal Frenzy, HROT 25, and now as we look out our left window, Noel D83, he is flying the Cessna Citation CJ4, and he's about, my goodness, he's so high. He's at 32,000 feet, 70 miles out. That private jet has a higher max altitude than even our Pilatus PC-12 air ambulance, it would appear. Of course, this is not the air ambulance model. This one is kitted out to be comfortable with the VIP for all Snoot City patrons. That's what it looks like back there. That's where you, the viewers, are seated. So I hope you're having a great flight back there. Heading 038. Nice, we have managed to cover quite a bit of ground. How much more to go? I suspect we're about halfway with our flight, right? That is what it seems like. Approaching, give or take, the halfway point. Even this is a bit of a daunting flight. There is a reality that exists where we might not be making it home tonight. Whether we end up in Cedar Rapids, Eastern Iowa Airport, or at K57 or somewhere along the way. At earliest, we'll be calling it at Kilo 57. But I guess we'll have to see how we're feeling and how the plane's looking by the time we roll around, huh? Maintaining our heading now. 037. Removing 1 point of trim because we're climbing a little faster than I would like. No need to be as high as we are. $16,000, slowly falling, a comfortable heading. Our beautiful views are slowly being dashed as the sunset steps in. With sunset approaching and night falling, we do need to now worry about lights, camera action. Brightness is already on about 100 for everything, so I'm not worried. Reset our view now. Narwhal Frenzy, I was afraid he wouldn't be joining us, but there he is. Narwhal Frenzy. He's only 60 miles away now. That's the hope. The hope is that our path intersects with Narwhal Frenzy's over there. We're going much faster than the Piper Dakota can. We're going at 221 knots, while the Piper Dakota sits at about 110 knots of cruise speed. So we are going twice as fast as he is. believe 110 knots is about, give or take, 120 or 135 miles. I believe we are going at about 240 to about 260 miles per hour in this Pilatus craft. That's a nice view. The co-pilot has a decent view there. It almost looks like a mountain sticking out, but I know Kansas has no mountainous ranges. Oh, this is depressing. We're not going to meet our friend Narwhal Frenzy because our path has slipped so far eastward. We're going to have to say goodbye. Goodbye to Narwhal Frenzy. Take care, my brother. Our paths are not going to meet today. We're going to go ahead and do a full turn all the way down. Tilt the wings. Give us some rudder. Alright, we're not trying to fall out of the sky. We're going to tilt our wings back. We are gaining some dangerous speed here. Because we had a rather steep turn. No need to turn that steep. It's kind of on me. And because of it, we're ballooning. So, to fix the balloon, you push forward ever so slightly on your yoke. And then you let it relax. Add 1 point of positive trim. See what it does for us. I was wondering when this lake to our right was going to cross. And as sad as it is, we can't even see the lake because of the cloud cover. Not to fear, we can see our good friend Narwhal Frenzy flying along with us 55 miles out. Heading 016 right now. We're just going to go ahead and get a little less steep. There's really no need at this point to re-intersect with the VOR lines. What's most important is we set a healthy and feasible heading, which looks to be about 045. This will be good. 034 is going to take us right above Kilo 57. Kilo 5 or 7. We have lost a lot of altitude. 13,200, and we're falling. Well, let's fix that by adding 1 point of trim right now. Noel D83 coming in his Cessna Citation. How far out is he? He looks like he's actually headed our way. 31 miles out and rapidly approaching. He is on an intersection course with us, although he's much higher in the air. We very well may be seeing Noel Delta 83. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Narwhal Frenzy. There's the moon right in front of us, as it's been for most of the trip. And as we've been flying, our window has gotten dirtier and dirtier. I love that. You gotta love that, right? Little things like that to help sell the illusion that the game you're playing is real, or real in some sense. Note to my viewers, I'm not a real pilot. Alright, comfortable. Climbing but slowly. Let's add a point of trim. Let's go ahead and get back up to 16,000 feet. Comfortable. The hum of the engines is very soothing. Drift a little bit to the left now. our artificial horizon has those lakes being right below us, which again we can't see. How sad is that? The lake feeds into a river, it would appear. The river appears on our artificial horizon, but does not appear on our greater map. Oh, 4-5. Very slowly drifting to the east. Non-stop, so we're just going to apply a little bit of left. A little left yoke. We're going to go ahead and get comfortable again. We're not in periods of turbulence, so seatbelts off. No smoking sign is off. Let's go. We're going to go ahead and continue our journey now. Thank you for joining Snoot Airlines. This has been Clayton, New Mexico, attempting to hit the eastern Iowa airport. We're going to go ahead and maintain 14,800 feet now, very slowly climbing up to 15,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have our pitot heat on. Excellent. Most important, that pitot heat needs to be on. Do we have a flight following? I think we needed to contact somebody. Tune to Kansas City Center. Contact Kansas City Center.
Kansas City Center. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
15,000 feet is a problem. We're going to add 1 point of trim.
Kansas City Center, altimeter tree 064, radar contact, continue.
Alright, I love when they say continue. We don't need to respond, but we do need to adjust. We do need to adjust our barometer. 10 points shy, it would appear. Tree 064. In reality, has us sitting at about 15,400 feet. We're going to remove that 1 point of trim and quit our expedited climb. There he is, Noel Delta 83. Looks like he is taking off to the north. He's only 13 miles now, so there is a possibility that our paths are going to intersect. Here's hoping. Shouldn't be a problem. He's about 15,000 feet above us. He's as high above us as we are off of the ground, which is absolutely insane. Just to say hello, we're actually going to go ahead and modify our heading. Look at the right. Can we still see Narwhal? Hey there. 5122. 5120. 5122. Is he coming towards us? That's my question. Narwhal, good sir. I sure hope you do. I sure hope you do. Here we go. There he is. Noel Delta 83. He's very fast. That Cessna citation is no joke at all. Look at that, 10 nautical miles out. There's the moon, the DreamWorks moon. Narwhal Frenzy out to our right, sitting at 15,750 and climbing. We have the sunset to our left. Friends in front and to our right. Passengers behind us. What a lovely day, truly. We're going to go ahead and continue staying level here. Heading 048045. We've now been flying for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. The time is currently, in local time, 6:30 10:14 p.m. Let's adjust back to the north again. Gonna have to say goodbye to both Narwhal Frenzy and Noel. There he is, only 13 miles out now. He's actually rapidly climbing and flying away from us. We have no chance in a million years to catch him. That Cessna citation is no joke. Cessna citation CJ4 C2SC. Focus on ourselves now. We're gonna go ahead and mosey a bit further to the north. How far out are we from point Kilo 57? I'm assuming about 100 miles. That's a waypoint. Let's just do a direct to. 88 miles now. Alright. That's 88 miles. That's about 100. 1, 2, 3. We're give or take about 300 away. Currently flying at about 250 miles an hour. We are only about another hour away. So, let's contact. Acknowledge the handoff.
Going to 12.8. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of throttle here. Heading 047. We would like heading 045. Noel, Delta 83, now 20 nautical miles away. No longer part of our ambitions. Below us we can actually still see a little bit of the ground. We've not been in line with VFR flight rules for most of this flight, as the cloud cover below us is a bit too serious. Our option was to fly below the clouds or to go ahead and fly above them. In real life, you do not want to play around with the FAA and rules, but we're just having a good time here at Snoot Airlines. I don't have a pilot's license for them to take, so we're going to go ahead and continue on our heading. Heading 037 is actually a little bit more northerly than originally planned, but shouldn't be a problem. 16,200 slowly climbing. We should be good and healthy. Climbing, but not too fast. Slowly weigh our wings just over to the side, ever so slightly. Are we leveled out? Yes, sirs, we are. Head on over to the EFB now. Let's scope out the local area. Very busy. Our local area has been quite busy for the majority of this flight. So heading 040 is gonna intersect us back with our VOR lines. And quite honestly, we'll have to see how we're feeling once we hit point Kilo 57. I'm sure every pilot just wants to land before it's time, right? It's like, I don't know if I want to make the whole trip. I'm feeling a bit tired and lazy today. Well, we'll just have to bite down on the bit once we get to that point. Right now, we're all just relaxing together. Snoot City, hope you're having a fantastic day, morning, night. I brought it up earlier. Make sure you like and subscribe to Slorgs. He does Sniper Elite 5 videos. Fascinated with the idea of somebody creating content specifically to be played in the background while you sleep. And that's what I view these videos as. These snoot streams are supposed to be a comfortable companion sleep video. So, I don't know why you're still awake. Go to sleep now. Just kidding. I'm just being silly, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and we're sitting here, 16,560, but we're not really climbing that fast. So we're gonna keep this 1 point of trim up until we hit 17,000. Then we're gonna drop 1 point of trim until we hit 16,000. We're just gonna bounce it like that for the next hour or so. Bouncing it crazy style, as the kids say. Do we need to contact? I think we do. We are endlessly behind on our contacts.
Kansas City Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, 16,600.
16,600, yes.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, Kansas City Center, altimeter 3066. Radar
Altimeter
contact continue.
3066. He said continue. She said continue, so of course no response. 3066. Go ahead and switch that barometer for me. There we go. You can see right here it says the Pilatus actually has 2 barometers. So we have the attitude indicator over here with barometer 3066, and we have the inbuilt artificial horizon 3066. So when you fly the Pilatus PC-12, make sure that you do not forget to adjust both altimeters, as well as make sure you do not forget to lift your flaps and your landing gear. For the first 30 minutes of this flight, we were going at 160 knots per hour, and I was wondering what is going on with my plane. Well, we had our flaps down and our landing gear, so I'm going to give some pro pilot strats from somebody who's not a pilot and knows nothing about flying. Make sure you rescind your landing gear. Nice and comfortable and level. That's what we like from a plane. We are continuously drifting to the east. I don't like that. Could be the winds. Of course, the winds were coming out of 044 earlier. I have no clue where they're coming out of or into currently. Look over there. We have a new person, Kieran 1520, as well as Noel. Noel is already 60 miles out that way. Crazy. That says in the citation. No joke. It is not a joke of an aircraft. That thing can get up and it can mosey. Of course, that is the difference between a jet and a turboprop. The turboprop is more powerful and faster than the Cessnas, the regular prop craft, but certainly compared to a jet, it just doesn't quite have that oomph. The zhuzh, as they say. Do we have our pulse lights on? I think we do. maybe we'll be able to tell if we get them set to course. Yes, sir, we will. Let's go ahead and switch them back on. Fantastic. Yep, and there they are. Ahead of us, it is getting hazy, misty, overcast, and dreary. But no wonder, no worries. We still have the moon ahead of us to guide us. We still have a couple of stars in the sky to see. The ground is a good 20,000 feet below us, give or take. 17,000 now. Add 17,000. We're going to go ahead and add that one negative point trim. We're also going to adjust heading very slowly, very slightly. We're going to get back on track and head to the north. A town to our left there. It's been a while. We've been crossing these vast, massive stretches of farmland. We've been up in the clouds. Oh yeah, it is just very difficult to see with this darkness. In fact, I'm going to need to turn off my real life lights, focus in, and to stop my eyes getting burnt out, we're going to drop the intensity of some of these lights. 55, 70. Really don't need that one. My co-pilot doesn't need any of that shit. There we go. My PFD could also be a bit less. 25% is a little bit too low. We're gonna go ahead and go back to about 40. Gonna add just a little bit of glare shield. Nope, no glare shield at all. We don't worry about it, and we don't even care. The thing in the center is a little bright though still, so let's go ahead and... What is that? Here we go. MFD. Bring it to about 40%. Looking good. We're not trying to go blind. We're trying to see. At this point, it would be a lot nicer to be venturing south. That way we could have the sun in our eye instead of at our back. Go ahead and adjust our heading now. We got a little bit sidetracked playing with the lights. This is what a co-pilot's for. My flight officer, why are you not taking care of this? What do I even pay you for, madam? Going and adjusting heading now. Where exactly are we? Just south of Point Reba. Gonna continue to fly to the north. The north. Yes, sir, the north.
Sierra Alpha Lima Niner, Tree Niner, contact Kansas City Center on 127.9er.
Contact 127.9er, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner.
127.9er for Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner.
My hot drink has finally cooled down. It's only taken about 45 minutes. Snoot Airlines regularly serves hot cocoa, hot tea, hot beverages, because what better for a nice, relaxing, long-haul flight than a hot beverage? Adore some nice, creamy hot cocoa. We're gonna go ahead and continue to the north. Heading 040 should be relatively healthy. In fact, we are approaching slowly point Kilo 57. Once we cover Kansas, it'll be much less daunting. As soon as we're able to get back into friendly territory of Iowa, or even Nebraska. Nebraska is quite a cross. I will say that. Nebraska is a bit of a journey, but Iowa isn't too bad. We can go ahead and cross most of Iowa without worrying. Right now, we are slogging over Kansas, and we are suffering for it. Currently, the time is 6:30 p.m., and me, your Captain Snoot, well, I'm getting nice and comfortable and cozy in my blankets. I'm very fortunate. I have some good friends in real life, and a lot of them for my birthday recently, January 1st. They got me some new blankets. I love blankets. What can I say? I'm a man of simple pleasures. Well, my entire life, I've been getting microfiber plush blankets, microplush, and usually they're one-sided blankets, so it's one piece of fabric with a blanket on both sides, and it's very soft. Now these are nice because they hold immediate heat well, but they don't trap it like a comforter. So you put one of these plush throw blankets on your skin and it feels good, and immediately you'll be warm. It just doesn't hold that much heat. So these ones that my friends got me are actually double-sided. They make them double-sided now, where one side may have the microfiber plush and the other side is usually actually a bit of a different material. You're meant to only cover up with one side. The microfiber touches your skin, heats you up, and the heat is maintained by the other side. So at 15,000 feet, we're actually maintaining, but we do need to add 1 point of trim to climb. We should not be maintaining at 15,000 feet. What is our heading? 042. It's okay, but too far east. Approaching now 1 hour and 50 minutes of flying time. Look both ways. Nationwide is on your side. There's a large town out to our right. I wonder what town that is. Of course, that is KSTJ Airport, and the town immediately surrounding it. KSTJ Airport. Rosecrans Memorial Airport. It's a joint military and civilian airport in St. Joseph, Missouri. So we are actually in Missouri. We need to go ahead and... we don't need to do anything, I suppose. I'm just going to bring up a map. Why are we in Missouri? So, if we are in Missouri, we're going to need to head hard north. What is KOTM Airport? Ottunwa Regional, okay. Here is what our plan is for the night in the stream, my friends. We are going to fly to Ottunwa Regional Airport. We're going to set a direct to 147 miles away. We should be arriving at Ottunwa within the next 40 to 50 minutes. We're going to go ahead and drop this Pilatus PC-12 off at Ottunwa. And we're going to go ahead and hop on into the Cessna 152 as we finish our route. From Ottunwa on over to KAWG, Washington, Iowa Airport. So, with the plan set, sit back, relax. Thank you for joining Snoot Airlines Flight 939. 939, there's the moon. Luna above. Mea culpa. Let's adjust. Heading 070 is not a good heading for where we're attempting to go. Oh, 056 is 050 is even fine. So let's do it. Maintaining at 050. Zooming on in. We're gonna go ahead and start descending to flight level 10,000 feet. So remove 2 points of trim. Maintain heading 050, and we're gonna go ahead and let ourselves bleed off a little bit of this air. There we go, an airport to our right. That's that joint civilian base from Missoula. 045. Now we're falling into the trap of heading too far north. If it ends up happening that we do go too far north to hit Ottunwa, we will go to Cedar Rapids, the eastern Iowa airport. However, I'm believing that we will be perfectly on track to hit Ottunwa. Flight time, 1 hour and 53 minutes. The time is 6:36 p.m. Estimated arrival in Ottunwa is 7:05 p.m. At 7 p.m., the main hatchway caved in. The captain says, "Fellas, it's been good to know you." Yes, sir. We're having a good time here on Snoot Airlines. We're finally on what would appear to be the tail end of this journey. It's been a long one. This has been a week-long trip down to Phoenix, Arizona. The longest flight that I have ever taken. Let me tell you, it takes its toll out on you as well. I've downed about 6 cups of hot cocoa already. I don't know how much more I can take. Nice and easy and level. We're going to go ahead and get back to heading 050. And our VOR line is once more visible to the top right. Our original path. Not our direct to, but our VOR path that goes past Kilo 57. Wonder if we can see Kilo 57 in the distance. It should be about quite a ways off. My assumption is that either that or that right there. One of those is going to be Kilo 57. Do we need to contact somebody? I guarantee we do. We always do. Tune to Kansas City Center. Contact.
Kansas City Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, 14,500.
14,500.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, Kansas City Center, altimeter tree 061. Radar contact, continue.
Continue. He says continue, so we don't need to respond. Tree 061. There we are. Both barometers are now set. We will continue very slowly, bleeding off our altitude as we approach the Ottunwa Regional Airport in Ottunwa, Iowa. how lovely it is. Oh, look at that. Our artificial horizon is giving out there. Things should be fine. Just a quick little bug in the system. $14,000 and descending, or ascending, it would appear. So we're going to remove that 1 point of trim. Even though we have level flight for the most part, we need to begin descending just slowly. We haven't yet reached descent, so I just want a little less between us and the ground when it comes to descent. We're going to go ahead and begin our descent at 10,000 feet, which means we're going to need about, give or take, 6 miles to descend. For each mile, you can descend, give or take, about 1,500 feet. So, from 10,000 feet, we're gonna start descending at about 6 miles out, and everything should be fine. In front of us, we can see a blinking beacon. What is that? Must be Point Lima, Mike November. We're gonna go ahead and hook to the left of Point LMN. LMN OP. The lovely orange and blue hues that surrounded us are now gone, sadly. Nothing but the haze of Kansas surrounding us. We have a VFR target right in front of us. Point Kilo Mike November, and even further beyond that, there's going to be a lake, and then right beyond the lake is Ottunwa. So, Kilo Mike November, Lake Ottunwa. That's what we should be looking at. Remove one more point of trim.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner contact approach on 124.7.
Contact approach. Contact 124.7 for Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner. Yes, sir.
124.7. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner.
So let's contact them. Instead of leaving them hanging for the next 20 minutes, let's just contact them right now. Tune and contact.
Approach. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, 12,200.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner. Approach. Altimeter 3064. Radar contact.
3064. Continue, of course, means we don't need to respond.
Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner contact Kansas City Center on 127.9. Good day.
Alright, he wants us to contact, she wants us to contact Kansas City Center, as we've been doing for the past hour. Hello, Kansas City Center, can you hear me? Tune and contact.
127.9. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner.
We have another friend out of the left window, Kobe 0420. Wonder what he's flying. He's flying the 737 MAX 8. Look at that. He's about 100 miles out, flying at 34,000 feet. Any other friends in the immediate area? No? Looks like not. That's okay. Reset ourselves. We're going to add 1 point of trim because we're continuing to fall. That's okay to continue to fall, but we just need to be 100% sure of what we're dealing with. We need to go to the north here. What are these points in front of us? That makes a little more sense. Okay. Kilo 1975 Kilo KSDAN Airport. That's what lies ahead of us. Not Point Lima, Mike November. We need to go ahead and just do a whole turn now. We are way too far to the south. What I thought was LMN is not LMN. Oh. No matter. There's nothing that's too hard to recover from, but Kilo 19 Airport, let's find what is that. Albany Municipal, it's in Missouri. We're still in Missouri, so a ways to go. Hook to the north. There we are. Getting a little too excited because the EFB was zoomed out a little too far. We're still most likely about an hour away from our destination. An hour to possibly 45 minutes at most. We've been flying now for 2 hours and 3 minutes. The time is 6:45 p.m. We have departed out of New Mexico, currently flying over Missouri. Our destination tonight is Iowa. Stand 2 heading 040045. 040045. Let those wings list lazily to the left. A highway in front of us is going to grant our next VFR target, so instead of caring so much about the heading, we're going to focus more outside the window on this highway. Not only the highway, but our destination lies right here, so follow the highway, turn right, follow that little bit of highway, and then there it is. Point Lima, Mike November, I believe. 7,000 feet and falling now means we need to add a point of trim. We're going to attempt to sit at 8,000 feet as we approach Ottunwa, Iowa. Indeed, that is Point Lima, Mike November in front of us. KLWD Airport. Whoops. KLWD Airport. Greenbrier Airport in Lewisburg, West Virginia. What are you talking about, man? No, not LWB Airport. I want to know what KLWB Airport is, my brother. KLWD. That's a lot better. That's the Lemony Airport. Lemony. In Iowa. So, once we hit this, we are once again in Iowa. Probably now at most 30 minutes away from our destination. We're just going to stick to it. We're actually not going to go as far as Point Lemony. We're going to go ahead and stick slightly to the right. We're going to use this light as a VFR target. So head to the right of Lemony and head to the left of whatever this point is. Just to the left, we are gonna skirt right over top of this bad boy, and that's gonna be our way. Yep, that's gonna be perfect for us. Perfect. add no trim because we're actually climbing. Slowly, but surely. $7,620, climbing to 7,640. We're feeling at lower altitudes the turbulence, so we are going to go ahead once more and flick on the seatbelts light. The no smoking sign will remain off until, of course, we approach Ottunwa. On descent, we want no smoking, but you're welcome to light it up if you got it. No cigarettes, of course, but... Look to the left, look to the right. Are we comfortable? For the most part, we are. To the left is Limoni, Lima, Mike November. From there, it'll be one last jaunt to this lake, and then there's our destination, Ottunwa. Originally it was Eastern Iowa Airport, but we went ahead and called our crew. We had to move our Cessna. They're currently flying the Cessna from the Eastern Iowa Airport in Cedar Rapids to Ottunwa for us. Yes. 7,900. Climbing, but slowly. We're going to go ahead and maintain this heading until we see a lake below us. As soon as we see the lake, that's going to be our go time for final approach, or at least final descent. And it is a ways out, let me say. We need to head to the left, more so. Okay. We cannot see the lights of Ottunwa in the distance, unfortunately. Let's just set up a direct 2. How far out are we? "77 miles now. We should be less than a half hour away. If you have any beverages, any snacks, we recommend you go ahead and get those finished up. We're gonna not want open containers or open drinks on approach. So go ahead and stuff your faces, my friends. Slog on down those beverages. I have a cup of hot cocoa sitting at about 1/3 capacity. Likely we'll be able to get it taken care of by the time we hit Ottunwa. Here we are. This is our heading. 050, and it's a good heading. It's a solid one. I'm gonna take a quick look. We haven't used them before, but I know we will need to on landing. The dump guards. Dump cabin pressure. We don't need to dump the pressure. Pardon me, my beautiful and glorious co-pilot. There it is. Open dump guard. Oh, we have to tune to Minneapolis Center.
Minneapolis Center.
Switchback.
Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
Head to the north.
8700.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, Minneapolis Center, altimeter tree 055. Radar contact, continue.
We're even going to give ourselves some rudders here. We're trying to turn, man. We're trying to turn now. Left rudder, left rudder, left rudder, left rudder, left. There we go. Heading 045. He said to contact, so let's do it. Contact Minneapolis.
Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
Oh,
Cancel flight
he
following.
must have said continue. I got a little too caught up.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, Minneapolis Center, cancellation received. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Alright, we're gonna just ignore that. Request a flight following. It's fine.
Minneapolis Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9ers, type Pilatus PC-12, 10 miles southeast of Kilo Lima Whiskey Delta, 8100. Request flight following.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree
Squawk
9er, Minneapolis
7014
Center. Squawk 7014.
for Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
Squawk 7014, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
The first signs of the
Sierra
lake
Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
are now
Radar
appearing.
Contact 11 miles east of Kilo Lima Whiskey Delta, 8400. Altimeter tree 062.
Kilo Lima Whiskey Delta. I'm pretty sure that's Lemoyne over here, or Lemondi. Pardon me. Excellent. It is 11 miles out. I wish he would have told us a little more how far we were from Ottunwa, but okay, acknowledge that. Roger. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
9er Tree 9er. Acknowledge last transmission.
Roger, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
Raja. Heading is a little eastbound. Let's go ahead and adjust it back north. We really don't have any clear-cut VOR, VFR targets. I guess there's this city right here upcoming. It looks like IA-46, IA-76. What is that? IA-76 airport is Elf Run. It's located in Winterset. Winterset is a lot closer. Of course, of course. The horse, of course. Still a ways out. Still a ways out. Kilowatt. We're just gonna go ahead and keep passing the time, really. Sitting now at 8,800 and climbing. Our heading is 055, which is comfortable. Winterset, Iowa, to our left. What is that?
Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, contact Chicago Center on 118.15. Good day.
We are having perhaps a loss of gas. We're having a severe loss of engine power. I am hopeful that we didn't lose our engines. Well, yet another emergency landing in the books.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er, did you copy?
IA-76, set a direct to keep the nose tilted up for best glide angle.
118.15, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima 9er Tree 9er.
Can we make it? We need to call up right now. IA-76. Pull back. Pull back. We need to keep this healthy glide angle and maintain as much of this airspeed and altitude as possible. Since we had already begun our descent, we really don't have that much altitude to fuck around with. Yeah, I said it. I said the F word. And it's not something I tend to do. There goes our aviations. Tune Chicago Center. Contact.
Chicago Center, Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, 8700.
Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner, Tree Niner, Chicago Center, altimeter tree 061. Radar contact, continue.
Can we get it going again? Nearest airport list. IA-19. What is Lazy? 61A6. Is that closer than IA-76? I think Cobb Farm is a little closer, isn't it? IA-76. Tune into traffic. Select runway. Alright, we need to get a runway closest to our heading. I don't care anything about a tailwind. Runway 6, they have a runway 9, that's good enough for me. Contact, man. Runway 9. It's gonna be a full stop landing.
India Alpha 76 traffic. Snoot Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner, 7 miles southwest, 8000, inbound to land. Runway Niner, India Alpha 76.
Can we get anything going? We need to keep gliding. We need to keep gliding. That's the most important. We don't even have a feathered propeller, so it appears that we had an entire engine cut here. What are we doing? Let's go back up. Can we hit that engine? Start it. Come on, come on. Let's go. Nothing. Keep that glide angle, a healthy glide angle. Peeking on over. We need to keep the nose tilted up. Can we see where we're going to be landing? That's what's most important. We need a runway, and we need one now. Of course, it would be possible to do a field landing. We're already back in Iowa. All of these squares are going to be fields. This time of year, they're all going to be plowed. Still, that's not what we want. Scary. Our engine's not working with us. How far out are we? IA-76, are you willing to show us your secrets yet? Please, friend. I need to know. What is our altitude at? 6,900 and slowly falling. Runway 9, so we know that heading is 9090. We're going to drift to our port side, left of the city. We're going to attempt to hit base and set up for a funky final approach. Are we 3 miles out now, it says. As arrival. Iowa 76. As arrival. Cobb Farm. Let's keep. We need to add some trim to stay up here. I'm really hoping that Cobb Farm has runway lights. Now, it might just be an airstrip out here. Is there anyone else we can contact? We still have 6,000 feet. Alpha 6. I don't see it. Are we wanting to go to IA-46? No way. Well, we have no throttle, so... Rough go of things. Rough go of things. Are there any beacons anywhere? There's one. Way off in the distance. There's no way we're gonna make that. Keep that nose tilted up. Gotta maintain this glide angle. IA-76 is not gonna reveal its secrets because most likely it's not an airport. Most likely it is just a runway. We're gonna stay on to IA-46 now. Set a direct too. Brother, please. Please, brother, brother. Ugh. IA-46. Let's get him on the horn. Gonna change our runways. Back. Back. IA-46. Oh god, that's not good at all. IA-46 is off of the table. IA-76 is our only option. It's so bad. This is horrible. 4,900. Can we make BE9? Oh, is that 0E9? Corridon. I really... Are we stalling? We're going too slow to glide, huh? Yep, Cobb Farm it is. There's just no questioning it. Runway 9. Full stop. Close our comms.
India Alpha 76
Tilt the
traffic.
nose down.
Smooth Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner. 2 miles northeast, 4600. Inbound to land. Runway Niner, India Alpha 76.
Let's get our lights going.
India Alpha 76 traffic. Smooth Sierra Alpha Lima Niner Tree Niner is on crosswind. Runway Niner, India Alpha 76.
Give us a little bit of rudder. We need to get turned around. What do we see down there? Do we see any runways? Friends, if you can see it on the stream, please point it out. Straight out of our right. I see something blinking. We are still up here. We still got speed. Can we reset? Attitude failure. Where are you at, Cobb Farm? I do not see your runways. Cobb Farm runway. Well, what we can see is a glorious, perfect field right there. We are now on We should be right above it. It should be right below us, actually. We're just gonna go ahead and keep going straight then. How long do we got? 3,000 feet now. If we had just trusted and headed towards the beacon, maybe we could have made it. Okay, we need to pitch down. Gain some speed right now. Pitch down, pitch down. We are coming in for final, so let's turn off. Stall alarm. Terribly sorry for this alarm, friends. Cutting all speed. Dropping our landing gear. We have our landing spot picked out. Here we go. Push forward, we're not trying to stall. It's gonna be fine. There we go. Isn't it nice not having that stall alarm screaming at us anymore? It's very important. We need to know, is this trees or is this dirt? Is this tree or is it dirt? If it's trees, we're in for a bad time. Keep the nose up. Here we go. We're gonna have to do it. Hopefully there are no trees. Here's as good as we're gonna get. Keep that nose pointed up. Falling out of the sky. Whew. Fell from about 20 feet up. Absolutely destroyed our landing gear. But looks like we're okay. What an end to today's episode. We shouldn't have pushed it. We should have called it at Kilo 57. What are we looking at here? How cool is that? There's actually marks from where we landed. Running, running, running. Wow, you can see right where we dropped. Honestly, a pretty short drop. It's really good that we chose not to land where we were gonna, because that green was trees. If we would have landed on the green or kept going to the field we were attempting to, no doubt we would not have made it. Let's go ahead and turn the ELT on. Get back in. We're gonna go ahead and switch the pilots now. ELT to get us located. Excellent. Well, this is where we end today's episode, friends. This has been Snoot Airlines Flight 939. Thanks so much for joining us. Yet another unfortunate emergency landing, but at least we survived, right? Isn't that always the hope? Since we had no layover, we're gonna go ahead and do the layover along with the outro. And just because that beeping is not tied to the plane, it's tied to the character, we're gonna turn it off. But you know, lore-wise, well, we're just listening to some music while our ELT beeps. So Let's get back in there. There we go. Close that. Switch on over. We're just, again, we're pretending this is on. So, we're just pretending it's on. Here at Snoot, we love to pretend. And that's been today's episode. We're going to go ahead and run the layover and the outro music, like I was saying. So, thanks for tuning in today, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope nobody's injured from that rough landing. Don't tell my bosses. Here's the layover and the end of the episode. So, have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Snoot Airlines, thanks you for holding during this layover. We would like to ask if you are enjoying the stream. Please like and subscribe!
Please like and subscribe. Please
for watching the stream today. We at Snoot Airlines appreciate, and we hope you have enjoyed.